July is the 250th anniversary of Americans telling the British government to shove off, and it's also the second anniversary of the Tacoma Home Depot police scandal. So if you're a lover of liberty, I'm inviting you to join me, Mr. Pipsqueak, at the old courthouse on July 4th at 1 p.m. to remind our government that they work for us. Do private prisons in Georgia incentivize unjust incarceration? You don't have to look far through comments on my show to find people saying that private prisons are incentivizing mass incarceration. But are they really? I decided to look into the numbers and find out. According to official documentation from the state of Georgia, they have two private corporations operating prisons in Georgia. The first is CoreCivic, which runs Coffee, Jenkins, and Wheeler Correctional Facilities. The second is GEO Group, which runs Riverbend Correctional Facility. Together, these four facilities hold about 7,500 of Georgia's roughly 50,000 prisoners. So about 15% of Georgia's prisoners are in these private facilities. We did a deep dive into the Georgia Department of Corrections contracts with GEO Group to see if we could find any perverse financial incentives. GEO Group first contracted with the state in 2011, and in the contract, the state of Georgia guaranteed that a minimum of 90% of GEO Group's 1,500 prison beds would be filled. So by the terms of the contract, the state of Georgia is legally obligated to keep no less than 1,350 inmates at Riverbend at all times. It sounds like an incentive to me. The state pays GEO Group per inmate per day. Under the most recent 2026 contract, Georgia pays $78.24 per inmate per day for the guaranteed 1,350 inmates. But the cost for the remaining 10% of inmates was much lower, at only $3.35 per inmate day. So in 2026, Georgia is getting an incarcerate 9 people, get the 10th one 95% off deal. When you average it all out, if all of the beds are full, GEO Riverbend is getting $70.75 per inmate per day. That's a whopping $38,735,807.50 per year. But that may not be enough to demonstrate a financial incentive for the state to misbehave. Georgia is still paying more by adding more prisoners, and the contract doesn't stipulate any penalty that Georgia pays if they fall below 90% capacity. So if they don't hit the magic number, presumably Georgia just ends up paying for beds they aren't using. But the shareholders and employees of private prisons in Georgia definitely have a financial incentive to have more people incarcerated to keep these lucrative contracts running. Altogether, CoreCivic and GEO Group have about 1,300 employees operating their facilities in Georgia. So that's 1,300 people who probably won't be voting to rein in policing anytime soon. But do these private parties have an impact on Georgia's government choosing to incarcerate so many people? The answer is a resounding yes. We checked campaign finance disclosures and found that GEO Group and CoreCivic had both made hundreds of donations to political campaigns in Georgia. Since 2006, these two private prison corporations have donated over $920,000 to political campaigns in Georgia. GEO donated $6,100 to former Governor Nathan Deal in 2010, right before they got the contracts to open Riverbend Correctional. And they gave him another $7,300 in 2014. When Deal was term limited out of office, GEO Group gave a $6,600 donation to Governor Brian Kemp in 2018 and another $7,000 donation to him in 2022. And CoreCivic is no better. Under their former name, Corrections Corporation of America, CoreCivic donated $5,000 to Nathan Deal in 2010. In 2018, they gave Kemp $9,100, and in 2022, they gave him another $18,100. So together, these two private prison corporations have spent over $59,000 by governors in Georgia in the last 16 years, and nearly $1 million more buying the legislature. And those elected officials have had a big impact on our cases locally. Remember, Nathan Deal appointed District Attorney George Christian in 2016, and he's been running unopposed since that time. Brian Kemp only recently appointed Judge Carlton H. Jones III, who is also currently running unopposed. In the Home Depot case, DA George is trying to put Freeman in prison for life for defending his son from Donnie Nelson, and Judge Jones seems to be willing to let him. So here's how this works. Private prison corporations get paid millions by the state to house more prisoners. Those corporations pay legislators to make everything a crime punishable by more years in prison to keep the beds full and the money flowing. Then, the prison corps buy the governors who appoint the judges and district attorneys who will go along with the game. Lawyers, politicians, corporate corrections employees, and the private prison shareholders get rich, while the people of Georgia get thrown in the clink. Check your portfolios, people. If you've got stock in GEO or CXW, it's time to sell. I'm Mr. Pipsqueak signing off, and remember, you should never talk to police without your parents and a lawyer present.